Hi, I'm Kathy Cook. Welcome to Desi Yogi. We'll be practicing shoulder stand today, Salamba Sarvangasana, supported shoulder stand. And in the video, I will demonstrate 3 ways to come into the pose, depending on your body type and your practice, how to set up for those poses, and how to stay longer in the poses. So join me. Let's get started. Salamba Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. All right, so I'm going to show 3 different versions of this. For those of you that have been practicing a short time, I'll show one version going into it, which helps you to get to the tops of your shoulders and have a little bit more support when you're going up, and then another version with the bolster and in the center without the wall. And then the final version will be a more relaxed shoulder stand that you could stay for longer. Okay, so first your setup will be 2 to 3 blankets. So you can see here I actually have, this is a thicker blanket, so it's 2 of the white ones and 1 of the gray ones. And then I have spread it out so that the back of my head will be on that blanket. Okay, the other thing is bring the mat over onto the blankets. So my head will be here, my shoulders will be here, and my elbows and upper arms will be here. So this gives me a little bit of a traction so I don't slide. Having said that, I'll still use a belt. So as you're beginning, you need to know where to have your shoulders and keep your arms in a certain position to get that lift of the armpit chest, shoulders moving back. So you're not on the backs of the shoulders, you're more on the tops of the shoulders. Okay, so that belt will help to keep the arms in line with the shoulders and also give you more of a lift. Okay, so I have the chair behind me. I've measured the distance. So you can sit on your blankets and measure the one leg's length away. So you can see when you bring your legs over, my toes will be onto that chair. If you don't do that, then you're going to be trying to figure out where the chair needs to go, and maybe your legs will already be there. So for those of you that it's difficult to bring the legs to the floor, you can start this way. So again, we'll start at the wall, bring your hips in, measure your distance here, have that strap in your right hand, elbows pressing down, upper arm pressing down. So I'm already getting a little bit to the outer edge of my shoulders. Just make sure you have a level support beneath you. The blankets are spread evenly. And then press with the feet. And once you've pressed, you're going to feel like sliding down. So just walk your legs up a little bit to give you some height and some lightness, so it takes the weight out of your upper chest. Especially if you have a larger chest, you want to get as much lightness as you can by lifting up. So now take the strap, bring it onto the elbows, right above the elbow crease, and interlace your fingers. Extend your arms toward the wall as you roll. One shoulder and then the other. So you're getting that rotation of the arm, so the inner arm is turning out. Extend through the arms. Press the upper arm down as you press the feet into the wall. Lengthen the neck. So I just extended my head away from my shoulders, which would be really difficult to do if I were just having the head on a mat. So that's why I use the blanket there. And then with the hands, again, thumb and index finger, take the hands to the back. You can have the hands on your shirt, or you can have your hands on your skin. If you're tending to slide, use your hands on the skin. Press the feet, tailbone in, open the front groin. And then keep one foot at the wall, bring the other foot over. Seems like my chair is a little off center, so just make sure that the chair is there for you. Walk your hands down, and then lift up through the legs. Inner thighs lifted. Okay, we'll start in Eka Pada first, which is one foot on the chair and one leg up.
So lifting up. This thigh is lifting up. So not sinking your hip, but lifting that hip up toward the ceiling. Extend the leg up. Compact the hips so the inner thighs are moving towards one another versus rolling out. Okay? So stretch up through the foot. And then bring that foot down. Extend through the heels, from the heels to the hips. From the hips to the heels. Lengthen the inner leg. Walk the hands down. If you started to slip, press down into the elbows, into the upper arm, into the shoulders, and then lift up. Reach up with that leg. So all of your standing poses will be really important that you've done those, so you can bring that same action to the legs, lifting up. Outer thigh lifting up, stretch up through the ball of the foot. And then bring both legs down. And then you can come up if you're ready. If you're not, you can stay in that Eka Pada position until you're ready to lift both legs up. Tailbone in, buttocks in. Extend your legs. Straighten the knees. See if you can bring your toes and your heels together. And lift up. Walk your hands down your back. So here your heart is above your head, so that circulation of the heart pump is in a position where it just moves down with gravity. So it's a release for the heart, relaxation for the heart, brings quietness to the brain. And it helps to relax the internal organs. So they're in an opposite position. And then to come down, you can come down with one leg or two legs. Point your toes down, keep the hips lifted, and bring the toes onto that chair. For those of you that don't need the chair, you can bring the legs down. Keep the thighs lifting. From the armpit to the hips, lengthen up. And then to come down, take your strap off. Keep your fingertips and your arms pressing down behind you, which will counteract the hips just falling to the floor. So as you move down, or you could come down in the same way with the feet on the chair and bring one leg back to the wall and then the other leg back to the wall and then release. Start to move your shoulders down off that platform. So the shoulder blades are moving down. Let the legs be at the wall and rest the neck, rest the shoulders. You can extend the legs completely, which feels really nice when you press the heel into the wall, draws the hips back, connects the hips with the pelvis, and your lower back spreads, becomes wide. If you want to stay there a little bit longer, you can bring your feet into Baddha Konasana. So here you're opening through the front groin, you're opening through the pelvic area, and again, the abdomen is moving down toward the lower back. All right, we'll come up. I'll show you two other versions. So roll onto your right side and press yourself up. Okay? Okay, so I've folded the mat back. And it's, your shoulders will be here. So this is really for your upper arm and your elbows, okay? So that you're not sliding. But we will still use the strap. When you're learning, you want to use the strap just so that you keep that action of the arms
moving in and getting that coiling action, because you're coming again to the tops of the shoulders. I've put a chair here at the end, so I'll be taking my feet back like I did in the first pose. We won't be using a chair to get up, but we'll be using the chair to bring the feet into Halasana. Okay, so I used the chair before because for some people it's difficult to lift the hips up and over. If it's still difficult, this is the next lower variation to that. You can bring your hips onto a bolster or some cushions or a pillow and then come back so that, so to have it be useful, I'd have it under the hips. And then bring your shoulders about a thumb's width away from the edge. All right, so now you can see I'm on the backs of my shoulders. I want to get to the tops of the shoulders, and I'll do that by rolling the shoulders under once I start to go up, okay? So have the strap in your right hand. You press your arms down and use your hands, your forearms on that bolster and your fingertips, and then just try pressing and lifting. Pressing and lifting. So you're lifting your hips up and over, you're lifting your back, using the arms, bring the legs onto the chair. Okay, so from here you want to roll the shoulders under, both of them. Come more onto the tops of the shoulders. Be on the toes. Lift the thighs up, so you're creating more length. And then take the strap and bring it right above the elbows. So you've measured it before. Bring that strap just in the crease above the elbow. And then you're going to take your hands on your back. So the thumb and the forefinger spreading, like you're taking a bite out of the back. So I've opened my shirt here so I can feel the skin. And then I'm pressing in, coming really onto the tops of the shoulders, and then turn the whole hand so it's pressing onto the back. Okay, and then bring one leg up and the other leg. Walk the hands down, stretch the legs up. Eka Pada, you can bring one leg back to the chair. Press the toes, lift the hips, and extend up through the lifted leg. Keep the shoulders descending. Lengthen from the outer hip to the outer heel. Bring the leg back up. Adjust your hands. Walk your hands down your back. Press the palms against the back. Bring the buttock forward. Stretch up through the legs. And then doing the other side, keep the leg lifted as you bring the leg down toward the chair. Extend up. Okay, I'll go back up. Bring the legs back. Extend from the hips to the heels. Move the thighs up, away from the face. Broaden the backs of the knees, broaden the backs of the thighs. And coming out, and take your arms out of the strap. To come down, extend the legs behind you. Start to bring the hips toward that bolster. Use the arms as a counterbalance
as you start to come down. And bring your hips onto that bolster. And then you can slide your head and shoulders off the chair. And come either into Baddha Konasana or Sechabandha. And just rest there for a few breaths. And then you'll bend your knees, and we'll turn to the side and come up. Okay, so now we're going to do one more, which is more restorative, and we'll use the chair. So we'll change the setup just a bit. And take the blankets away. There's a way to use the blankets if you don't have a bolster, so I'll show both ways. All right, so you can take the blankets to the narrow edge, so fold them like this. And so I've got one fold here and one fold here, so you balance that out. All right, if you need a little bit more height, you can take one more blanket, or you can use the bolster. So I'm going to use one more blanket, so I'll just fold that blanket. So if you have another blanket or a towel, you could put it here so your head is not caught by the mat. And then you're going to sit on the chair, bring the legs up. So you're hooking the legs, and then bring the forearms down so you can feel the forearms and the hands touching the rail until you come down. Bring your head down, and then move your shoulders. So you're tucking your shoulders again, rolling the shoulders under. So the tops of your shoulders are on the top of the blanket. The head is on the floor. And then with your feet at the back of the chair, unhook your hips so that your lower back is relaxed. Okay, and then you can bring your legs up. So you're getting that rotation of the arms, the shoulders moving down, chest is lifted, extend up through the legs. Keep the legs active, but have the hips on that chair, so you're just on the sacrum, you're on the lower back, and there's no tension there. It's just a place for you to be able to descend the thighs into the hips, into that support at the chair. So here with the shoulders turning under, the chest is lifted. Your neck is more relaxed. And then from here, you can bring your legs to Baddha Konasana. Just using the back of the chair. And you can also straighten the legs. Toes together, heels together. Release the shoulders down. And then to come out, you'll take one arm out, hold on to the chair rail, take the other arm out, and then lift your hips. Start to slide down. So I'm still holding on to the chair, rolling the shoulders down or sliding the shoulders down. You can end up then with the hips on the blankets and the calves on the chair. Okay, so that's one way. So now I'll show you another way with the same setup with the chair. So some people are tall, depends on the height of your chair.
tall from the hips to the shoulders. So you can bring a few blankets. And this is something that you're going to have to practice with and see what you need, because it depends on your length, it depends on the chair height. So this is a general idea. I'll bring the blankets, again, underneath the bolster so my head will be supported by that blanket, okay? And now, I'll go into it the same way. So sitting on the back, on the chair, I lift my legs up and over. Okay, so in this, many times we have a mat. We roll up a mat and put the mat on the chair, which I didn't show you, but with the blankets here, you want to make sure that you don't want to slide off the chair. So roll the buttocks under, holding the chair with the back of the legs. So I'm completely stable here. The chair is not moving over because I'm still holding with my legs. And then you can feel the elbows on that bolster. So as you feel that, and your hands on the chair, start to slide yourself down just a bit till you can feel your head on the bolster. And then without going too far, take your arms underneath the chair rail. Okay, so my neck is completely supported. You can bring your feet to the chair and just adjust your hips. So you don't want to be caught on your middle back, your lower back. You want to be right on the sacrum, across the hips. Tuck the shoulders under, lift the chest. So you're holding with the back rail. Now, let's say you have a very wide frame and you can't get your arms underneath there, then just hold on. But don't release here, otherwise you'll just slide off. Okay, so holding on to the chair rail for the more broad-shouldered people. Okay, and then you'll bring your legs up. Activate the legs from the feet to the calves, to the knees, to the thighs. Move your shoulders down. With that movement of the shoulders down, lift the chest. So the abdomen is moving towards your lower back, the chest is lifting, your heart is above your head. So it brings tremendous relaxation to the heart. The heart is no longer having to pump up to the head, to the brain, to the different systems, the endocrine system, which are responsible for the manufacturing of hormones. So the blood and the oxygen is moving upward toward the head. So it becomes very relaxing, very restorative done this way. You have the support. You can also take your arms in the chair. I'm a little bit far out now, but you can bring your legs up, hold on to that chair, roll the shoulders down, so just being careful with your neck. If you have any kind of cervical problems, any neck injuries, anything happening in your shoulders, then maybe this is not the right position for you right now, but this is the more restorative of all the poses that I showed you. And certainly with the blankets and the bolster, you're getting more height and you can hold these poses a little bit longer. So when you're ready, just bring your feet back to the chair. Lift your shoulders up, release the chair legs, and start to slide down. Slide yourself down until you come with your hips on the bolster, and then you just relax your calves there. And you can take Savasana this way, or you can just be here for as long as you'd like, and then when you're ready, you come out and come into Savasana. Just letting the legs move down into the hips, relax the abdomen down, relax the shoulders, relax the breath. When you're ready to come out, bend your knees and roll onto your side and press yourself up. So I hope you've understood there are many variations to do in shoulder stands, so you should do what is good for your body condition. Try a few different things. If you have any difficulties in them, send me a message if you need more clarity on something. So because we're in an interesting situation now, some of these poses, usually I would be there to correct you and give you more direction. So just do your best and see what you feel, and just be curious with different props and different setups until you feel comfortable and you can be relaxed. This shoulder stand is, in the end, a very relaxing position. But of course, you're using the legs, you're activating with the legs to get that lift. And so it's important that you've been practicing and you have maintaining a practice so you can bring all of those things you've learned from your practice into your shoulder stand. Okay? Namaste. Thanks for showing up. If you've learned something, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you'll be notified of future videos. If you found this video challenging, this shoulder stand, go back to the previous videos that I posted below, which are focusing on standing poses. The standing poses will inform your inversions, so they're really important practice to keep up. It will only make your shoulder stands better. All right? If you have any other questions or comments, just leave them in the section below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. So, happy practicing. We'll see you next time.